Prejudice number 1, racism. You did not choose the first face you were afraid of. Someone taught you to be afraid of it and never told you that was what they were doing. Racism is prejudice based on race, skin color, or ethnic origin. Research from Harvard's Project Implicit, which has collected data from over 20 million participants across 34 countries, found that approximately 75% of people show measurable unconscious preference for lighter skin tones over darker ones, regardless of their own racial background or consciously held beliefs about equality. The mechanism is not hate. Most racism operating in daily life does not look like hatred. It looks like assumptions. A landmark study published in the American Economic Review sent identical resumes with stereotypically black or white names to employers. Resumes with white names received 50% more callbacks. No different qualifications, no different experience, only the name. Racism is taught through what is shown and what is withheld, through who is portrayed as dangerous in the media and who is portrayed as authoritative, through 10,000 small exposures that a child never consciously registers as lessons but absorbs as facts about the world. The most important finding from implicit bias research: people who consciously oppose racism can simultaneously hold unconscious racial associations that influence their decisions. The belief and the bias coexist. Knowing this is not the same as being free of it, but it is the beginning of the only honest relationship with it. Prejudice number 2, xenophobia. Every society teaches its children who belongs and who doesn't. The lesson is rarely explicit. It doesn't have to be. Xenophobia, prejudice against foreigners, immigrants, and those perceived as culturally other, is one of the most neurologically rooted forms of bias. The human brain evolved a threat assessment system that categorizes people as in-group or out-group in less than 100 milliseconds, before conscious evaluation begins. Adaptive in small tribal communities, catastrophically misapplied in diverse modern societies. A 2023 meta-analysis in Psychological Bulletin reviewed 35 years of research on immigration attitudes and found that factual information, economic contribution, crime statistics, cultural integration consistently failed to shift attitudes in people with high xenophobic bias. The prejudice does not operate through information. It operates through identity and perceived threat. The child who grows up hearing that people from certain countries are dangerous absorbs these associations without any single person announcing the lesson. It arrives as background noise, as jokes, as which stories make the news. Xenophobia is not dislike of the foreign. It is fear of the foreign, and fear is always taught, even when no one admits it. Prejudice number 3, sexism. Girls and boys are handed different scripts before they are old enough to read. Sexism, prejudice based on gender, and prescribed social roles, operates through one of the most comprehensive and invisible systems of socialization ever studied. Research by sociologist Cecilia Ridgway at Stanford documents that gender status beliefs are transmitted through ordinary interaction from birth without anyone deliberately intending to install them. A 2012 study published in PNAS sent identical application materials for a laboratory manager position to science faculty at research universities, randomly assigned either a male or a female name. Faculty of both genders rated the male candidate as significantly more competent and hireable, and offered him a higher starting salary. The applications were otherwise identical. Sexism does not require sexists. It requires structures, cultural, institutional, and cognitive, that have been built over centuries and continue operating through the people who inhabit them, including people who consider themselves committed to gender equality. The girl who is told she is pretty when she should be told she is capable. The boy who is told not to cry when he should be told that feeling is not weakness. Both are being prepared for a script they did not write, and both will spend years performing it before, if they are fortunate, they begin to notice the stage. Prejudice number 4, homophobia. The prejudice against homosexuality did not arrive with the people who feel it. It was delivered to them, systematically and early. Homophobia, prejudice against gay, lesbian, and bisexual people, has measurably damaging consequences. Research published in Pediatrics found that LGBTQ+ youth in unsupportive environments are more than 8 times more likely to attempt suicide than those in accepting environments. The prejudice is not an opinion with neutral consequences. It is a condition of the environment that determines whether a person believes their life is worth living. The transmission of homophobia occurs through silence as much as through condemnation. The child who never sees same-sex love, represented as normal, absorbs the lesson of its abnormality without any single person having to declare it. The joke that goes unchallenged, the disgust that is performed and witnessed. None of these require a teacher who announces, "I am installing a prejudice in you now." What research also documents is that people with higher levels of homophobia are significantly more likely to have been raised in authoritarian households, to have had limited contact with openly LGBTQ+ people, and to report higher levels of personal insecurity about their own identity. The prejudice tells us something about its bearer, not about its target. Prejudice number 5, transphobia. Prejudice against transgender and non-binary people is among the most recently named, and among the most violently expressed, forms of bias in contemporary society. The science is not confused. The American Psychological Association, the American Medical Association, and the American Academy of Pediatrics all affirm that gender identity is a distinct and valid aspect of human experience, that transgender identity is not a disorder, and that gender-affirming care significantly improves psychological outcomes. What drives transphobia is the threat to a categorical system. Human brains are efficient categorizers. They sort the world into bins to reduce cognitive load. When a person challenges the binary of male and female that the brain has been using as a sorting rule since childhood, the response is experienced as a disruption, not a philosophical question. A 2016 study published in Science documented that a single 10-minute conversation with a transgender person, focused on listening to their experience, produced measurable and durable reductions in transphobia that persisted across a 3-month follow-up. The prejudice was installed before the conversation. The conversation begins to remove it. If any of these have made you pause, not because you agree with the prejudice, but because you recognize the transmission mechanism, that recognition is exactly the point. Share this before you keep watching, and subscribe now. The prejudices coming up are the ones most people don't recognize as prejudice at all. Prejudice number 6. Religious intolerance. Faith has been the justification for more intergroup violence in recorded history than almost any other category. It has also been the target of more prejudice than it is usually given credit for. Religious intolerance operates in both directions: prejudice against those who hold religious beliefs, and prejudice between religious groups. The Pew Research Center documents that restrictions on religious practice affect people in approximately 80% of the world's countries. The psychology of religious prejudice has one feature other biases lack. Religious identity is bound to ultimate questions of meaning, mortality, and moral order. When someone practices a different faith, or no faith, they implicitly challenge the framework through which the observer has organized their entire understanding of reality. The threat is experienced as existential, not merely social. What research consistently documents? The level of religious prejudice in any community is predicted by how threatened that community's religious identity feels, not by the actual content of the targeted group's beliefs. The prejudice is about identity protection, not theological disagreement. Prejudice number 7. Ableism. Society is built for one kind of body. Everyone who has a different kind of body learns this every day in ways that most people never have to notice. Ableism, prejudice against people with physical, intellectual, or sensory disability, is among the least recognized forms of bias because it is so thoroughly embedded in the architecture of the physical and social world. Stairs instead of ramps, forms that cannot be processed by screen readers, conversations conducted at a pace that excludes people who communicate differently. Research documents that people with disabilities consistently receive lower wages for equivalent work, are less likely to be hired for positions they are qualified for, and are more likely to be spoken to through a companion rather than directly, regardless of whether their disability affects their cognition. Perhaps most significantly, research documents the phenomenon of inspiration porn, the framing of disabled people's ordinary daily activities as exceptional or motivational. This framing, however positively intended, encodes the assumption that the standard for disabled people is so low that meeting ordinary expectations constitutes achievement. It is prejudice wearing the costume of admiration. Prejudice number 8. Ageism. Ageism is the only prejudice that, if you live long enough, you will eventually experience from both ends. Ageism, prejudice based on age, directed at both the young and the old, is documented as one of the most socially accepted forms of discrimination. The World Health Organization found that 1 in 2 people globally holds ageist attitudes. and that ageism against older people is significantly more prevalent and more tolerated than equivalent prejudice based on race or gender. A 2020 study published in The Gerontologist found that older adults exposed to negative age stereotypes showed significantly impaired memory performance. Not because of any neurological change, but because the stereotype activated an expectation of decline that directly affected performance. The prejudice reshapes what is possible for its target. For younger people, ageism operates through dismissal, the assumption that youth means inexperience in every domain, that opinions held by people under a certain age require less consideration. Both ends of the age spectrum pay a cost for a prejudice that is rarely examined because it is so thoroughly normalized. Prejudice number 9, fat phobia and aesthetic prejudice. The body you live in is evaluated constantly by a culture that decided, recently and arbitrarily, which bodies are acceptable. Fat phobia and aesthetic prejudice, bias based on weight, appearance, height, or failure to conform to beauty standards, are among the most normalized forms of discrimination. Research published in the International Journal of Obesity found that weight-based discrimination increased by 66% in the United States over a 10-year period, making it now as prevalent as racial discrimination in employment contexts. The most damaging aspect is its medicalization. Unlike most other forms of bias, weight-based discrimination is routinely justified as health concern, disguising prejudice as care. Research documents that physicians spend less time with obese patients, are less likely to order diagnostic tests, and more likely to attribute unrelated symptoms to weight. Aesthetic prejudice more broadly operates through what researchers call the halo effect, the well-documented cognitive bias that attributes positive qualities, including intelligence, competence, and moral character, to physically attractive people automatically and unconsciously. The standard was set by someone. It was set recently, and it was set to include some people and exclude others. Prejudice number 10, classism and social elitism. Class is treated as an outcome. It functions as a prejudice. Classism, prejudice based on socioeconomic status, education level, or perceived social class, is among the least examined forms of bias because the dominant culture frames economic position as individual merit rather than a socially constructed hierarchy. Research by sociologist Pierre Bourdieu documents the class is transmitted through cultural capital, the habits, tastes, speech patterns, and social codes that mark class membership and determine how a person is treated in encounters with schools, hospitals, courts, and employers. A 2019 study published in PNAS found that class-based discrimination in hiring was significant across multiple countries. Candidates from lower socioeconomic backgrounds were systematically evaluated as less competent regardless of the objective content of their applications. Classism is particularly resistant to examination because it is bundled with the mythology of meritocracy, the belief that economic position reflects personal worth. It is prejudice that has convinced its targets to enforce it on themselves. Closing. 10 prejudices. None of them chosen, all of them taught, through media, through family, through silence, through 10,000 exposures that were never announced as lessons but functioned as them. The most important finding from decades of implicit bias is not that humans are irredeemably prejudiced. It is that prejudice is learned, and what is learned can be examined, challenged, and over time, with genuine contact with the people we were taught to fear or dismiss, meaningfully reduced. You did not choose what you were taught, but you are choosing right now what to do with the awareness that you were taught. Tell us in the comment, which of these did you recognize in yourself or in the world you grew up in? We read every response.